Shalom, more praise to Yahweh, Hashem Shah, the Dynasty Apostle GMS. This is Allah coming to another video. And this is part 4, part 5 of the Hasmonean Dynasty episode. I know it probably been maybe like 2 weeks or probably even 3 since I did the last episode, last part. What I wanted to do was I'm outside right now. I'm walking somewhere, so I'm choosing to do it as I'm outside. Hopefully, our brothers can hear me. I'm gonna try to walk down some quiet blocks. Somebody walking past talking right now. But anyway, it's been a few weeks since I did the last part. I still was doing my other lessons, but I was trying to contemplate on how I wanted to do this. I was thinking, should I skip this part, because this part is really just a bunch of history. It's not really nothing really to bring out scriptures with, but through the Spirit, I'm gonna go through it anyway. So this is from the website tabletmag.com, and it's called same who are the Hasmoneans. So let's go back. Let's go right to where we left off. We left off right about here. It says, we were not told that this is a description of the Jewish sect of the Second Temple period. We could be led to believe that the passage speaks of Zoroastrians, maybe even of those belonging to this or that Zoroastrian heresy. The Hasmonean monarch Alexander Yanai tried to create a homogeneous country in a place of great diversity. With this goal in mind, he used the same methods as the Jewish Hellenizers and their Seleucid patron Antiochus Epiphanes in 85 to 82 BCE, which means before Common Era, or BC. The territories east of Transjordan, Samaria, Galilee, and Idumea were conquered, with forced conversion of Idumeans and others to the Jewish religion. You see that right there? It says Hasmonean monarch Alexander Yanai, he tried to create a homogeneous country in a place of great diversity. So what does the word homogeneous mean? What does the word homogeneous mean? Homogeneous. Let's go down. There you go. www.dictionary.com. It says homogeneous. It says in biology is corresponding in structure because of a common origin. Let's see. See if I can get another definition for it. I said it right. I had another one there. Bear me 1 second. I just from Collins Dictionary. Maybe Collins Dictionary will give us something. Having similarity in structure because of common descent. So basically, homogeneous means to be similar. Alright? That's ultimately what it means, to be similar. To be the same. Homo, or homo, meaning same. Genus, meaning gene. Same gene, in other words, to be the same. Okay? So he wanted to create a homogeneous society. He wanted to create a society where things were similar, things were the same. A homogeneous country in a place of great diversity. In other words, you have various or diverse cultures, which culture consists of religion, customs, and etc. So in this particular regions, it was various different cultures, but he wanted to be homogeneous. He wanted to be all alike. He wanted to be all the same. With this goal in mind, he used the same methods as the Jewish Hellenizers and their Seleucid patron Antiochus Epiphanes, 85 to 82 BCE. What did he do? The territories east of Transjordan, Samaria, and Galilee and Idumea were conquered. He conquered these different areas, and what happened? With forced conversion of Idumeans and others to the Jewish religion. Boom, there you go. So now you got Idumeans, and if you look, it says Idumea, Edom. So Idumea and Edom, we know, is one and the same. So guess what? They are converted to the Jewish religion. In other words, they are converted to the customs of the Torah. They are converted to the law. So you actually had Edomites that were living like Israelites at the time. Okay? Tigranes the Great of Armenia invaded Syria in 83 BCE. There's so many things that I could skip, but this is a short read. This should be done in maybe less than 10 minutes. Tigranes the Great of Armenia invaded Syria in 83 BCE, putting the Seleucid Empire virtually at an end. In 69 BCE, Tigranes invaded southern Syria, having laid siege to Cleopatra Selene I and Ptolemaeus Acre or Acco. In Judea, the pro-Pharisee queen Salome Alexandra reigned 76 to 67 BCE, made efforts to appease Tigranes. A short time after having seized Ptolemaeus, Tigranes learned that Lucius Licinius Lucullus was devastating Armenia and had laid siege to his capital city. Tiganocerta, so he rushed back to Armenia. In 66 BCE, Tigranes withdrew his support from Mithridates the Great, the king of Pontus, and came to an accommodation with the Roman general Pompey, having lost all his newly acquired possessions. Mithridates was defeated by Pompey in 63 BCE, or Mithridates in 63 BCE. The same year, Pompey intervened in the civil war in Judea between the Pharisees supporter Hyrcanus II, reigned for 3 months in 67 BCE, killed by Herod in 36 BCE, and his Sadducees supported younger brother Aristobulus II, Yanai Jannaeus, 63 BCE. The sons of the anti-Pharisee king Alexander Yanai, or known as Jannaeus, reigned 103 to 76 BCE, and the pro-Pharisee queen Salome. In 63 BCE, Pompey entered the temple and restored the high priesthood to Hyrcanus. Thus, Judea came to become part of the Roman world. So when Pompey entered the temple and had restored the priesthood to Hyrcanus, who was of the Hasmonean Dynasty, that's how Judea had become a part of the Roman world. Under Roman patronage, client nations like Armenia and Judea continue with some degree of autonomy under local kings. Autonomy meaning self-governance. Like an automatic door, auto means self. But the Seleucid Syria was made into a Roman province. Hyrcanus II and Aristobulus II, Simeon's great-grandsons, became pawns in a proxy war between Julius Caesar and Pompey. The deaths of Pompey 48 BCE and Caesar 44 BCE and the related Roman civil wars provided some breathing room for the Hasmonean kingdom, which was backed by the Parthian Empire only to be crushed by Mark Antony and Augustus. The sorrowful fate of the last Hasmonean king Judea, Antigonus II, Matthiahu, or also known as Matthias, the son of the aforementioned king Aristobulus II, is a manifestation of attempts of Judeans to rely on the Parthian support against Rome and of the Parthian failure to stand up against the Romans. Like his father, Aristobulus II, who had been killed by the pro-Pompeian party. So this is a lot of things that I can skip. Antigonus was anti-Roman. When the Parthians invaded Syria in 40 BCE, Antigonus was able to gain the support of both the Judean aristocrats and the Pharisee party and made advances to the Parthians, promising them gold and 500 slave girls in addition to his loyalty. Okay? The Parthians ruled by Herod's namesake, Herodes II, 57-30 BCE, sent Antigonus troops 500 heavy armored horsemen. According to the number of the slave girls, they had a question mark there. They put it according to the 500 slave girls. And in 40 BCE, Antigonus was proclaimed king and high priest. Herod nearly escaped death in what is now Herodium. It was later built on a site to commemorate Herod's miraculous salvation from the hands of the Parthians. The Parthians then sacked Jerusalem. Our best... See, I could skip some of this. How much is left? I could skip some of this stuff because it's not really getting to the point. There's a lot of information, but I'll read a little more. I'll have to keep going. Our best source. No, I'm gonna jump down. Okay, I'm gonna jump down. There's some good information here. Speaks about Josephus. You probably compose it and read that if you want. No, I'll read it anyway. Our best source for Antigonus' war against Roman domination is Josephus. But while reading Josephus about things Parthian, we should remember that the author was a staunch supporter of Roman dominance. The first Aramaic version of Josephus' Jewish war was written in this language specifically for the Jews of the Parthian realm. It was sent to them as propaganda in order to dissuade them from revolting against the Romans. So when Josephus wrote Antiquities, says 14:14:6, that Antigonus was still in hopes that the Parthians would come again and defend them, He was biased in favor of Herod the Great, who rose to power as an anti-Parthian and pro-Roman puppet king. During 3 years, Antigonus led a fierce struggle for independence from the Romans, 4037 BCE, which lasted until his horrible death. He was said to have been the first king ever to be crucified and scourged. It can be believed that the Romans tribune of Jesus, if you know his name is Yahushua, King of the Jews, were the real that just narrated, which was real, was a recapitulation of the treatment that the Romans and their puppet Herod meted out to the last independent Jewish king. So they felt that whether real or fake, which it was real, that's the reason why they felt that the Lord was crucified, because it happened to another king. Okay. The Hasmonean dynasty was mostly physically destroyed and replaced by Herod the Great in 37 BCE. Herod, a descendant of the forcibly converted Idumeans, see that? So Herod was a descendant of the forcibly converted Idumeans. He was a descendant of the Idumeans or Edomites who were forcibly converted during what time? During the time of Hasmonean monarch Alexander Yanai. We go back. Okay. Herod, a descendant of the forcibly converted Idumeans, tried to boast his legitimacy by marrying a Hasmonean princess, Mariamne, by building the new temple in place of the humble structure he had inherited from his Hasmonean high priest. The temple of Herod, and by propagating a messianic aura about himself, recorded vaguely in the New Testament. In 6 CE, the Roman Republic annexed Judea proper, Samaria, and Idumea into the new Roman province of Judea. And in 44 CE, the rule of a procurator was established side by side with the rule of the Herodian kings Agrippa I and Agrippa II. So it says, the Roman Republic annexed Judea proper. And what does the word annex mean? Add to one's own territory by appropriation. So the Roman Republic annexed or added Judea proper, Samaria, and Idumea into the new Roman province of Judea. So it was annexed into the new province of Judea. Now earlier we mentioned how Pompey entered the temple in 67. In 63 BC, and Judea became a part of the Roman world. It says it right here. Okay. Now here it's telling you when Judea proper, Samaria, and Idumea, it was annexed or added into the new territory. Into the Roman province of Judea in 44 CE. Let's go on. Two of Herod's other descendants, who were most probably also descendants of Tigranes the Great, prompting thus the later legend. Two of Herod's other descendants, who were most probably also descendants of Tigranes the Great, were made kings of Roman Armenia, prompting thus the later legend of the Davidian roots of the Bagratid Dynasty, with David's harp added to the Bagratid coat of arms. Tigranes VI, son of Alexander, son of Herod the Great, and Mariamne the Hasmonean, was the Armenian king under Nero from 58 to 63 CE. In 61 CE, he invaded Adiabene, the vassal kingdom of the Parthians, populated by Proto-Kurds and speakers of Aramaic, and disposed for a while Monobazid II, Jewish king. Monobazid II was a convert to Judaism, who ruled. Now they calling it Judaism. Now we know at this time so-called Judaism, and the Talmud. It's not talking about none of that. It's referencing the Old Testament when it says Judaism. Keep that in mind. Don't be confused. Who ruled after the death of his brother Agetes around 55 CE. He made donations to the Jerusalem temple, as described at some length in the Talmud. King Monobaz had all the handles of all the vessels used on Yom Kippur made of gold. He also made, and what's Yom Kippur? Look at that real quick. Let's see what Yom Kippur is. Yom Kippur. See, it says Sabbath is Sabbath. In other words, Day of Atonement. Okay? That's what the so-called Jews call it. Okay? We almost done. And it says he made donations. Now this is something that's talking about. Describe that later in the time. We'll skip that part. We might be able to go into that. And it says Monobaz II still sat on the throne of the. This goes a little more about the so-called Talmud. I'm not reading that either. Skip that part. Alright. In the course of his war, Pt.6, Vologases made peace with Gaius Demetrius Corbulo in 62 CE in order to install Tigris. Condition that he traveled to Rome to be crowned by Nero. Arandia, Tiridates, or Tiridates, excuse my mispronunciations, laid down his diadem at the foot of Nero's statue, promising not to resume it until he received it from the land of Nero himself in Rome. Tiridates' 9-month-long journey to Rome in 66 CE left a great impression on the Romans and Hellenes. He traveled while... Yeah, that's basically the point, you know? That's basically the point, you know? He traveled while accompanied by Magi and by the children of Vologases, Monobazes, and Pacorus in order to be crowned. While meeting the Senate Nero in Rome's forum, Tiridates knelt with hands clasped on his breast, which is an Iranian gesture of submission. So hands clasped on his breast is an Iranian gesture of submission, and said in Greek, "I am a descendant of Arsaces and the brother of the kings of Vologases and Pacorus. I have come to you who are my God. I have worshipped you as the sun, Mithra," which you know Mithra was a Persian god, and Mithras was the Greek form. It was this peace with Parthia and Armenia, which lasted for some 50 years until 114, that allowed the Romans to deal with the great Jewish revolt that erupted just a year after Tiridates' coronation in Rome. These are two interesting centuries that determined the destinies of Jews, Armenians, Parthians, Romans in the world. The Parthians failed to a great degree because they were not skilled in the art of running a well-organized state. In religion, however, as we have seen, Iranian ideas through the channels of Mithraism, Judaism, and Christianity conquered the Roman conquerors. Now, it wasn't really much just to read on this, because this is just history. That's why this thing is only about, less than 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not really that long, because there wasn't really much scripture to bring out. Which is like that sometimes. It all depends how you piece the video together. Because had every part been an hour, it would have been scriptures in every show, in every part. But I just, split it up, and this is just basically the end of it. So with that, let me bring out one scripture. Let me get scripture real quick. I want to get this real quick. This is Luke chapter 1, verse 5, real quick. It says, "There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, of the course of Abia, and his wife was one of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth." Now, I just want you to look at that part real quick. Remember, it said Herod, the king of Judea, right? And when you go back here, what does it say? It says the Hasmonean dynasty was mostly physically destroyed and replaced by Herod the Great in 37 BCE. Herod, a descendant of the forcibly converted Idumeans. I just want you to remember that. Okay? Shit. I want you brothers to remember that. And we're going to go into that on the next show. Go into the Herodian dynasty and them ruling over Israel and becoming the kings, for you to get a whole idea of Yahushua fleeing into Egypt. So that will close until praise Yahushua, double line to the apostle GMS. I hope brother learn something. Shalom.